announcement has been paid for by
the ENN podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it? Can
Sports.
you feel it? Can you feel that excitement?
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium and make you look stupid and get a Giants W.
Music.
Wow. Whoa. Shit.
And more.
What's his next book going to be called? Spineless?
Mike.
Welcome back, everybody. And if not welcome back, welcome to a very special edition of the ENN podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, and this is being broadcast within two platforms today, as I'm going to do a quick live feed during Thanksgiving Eve. I'm very excited about this Thanksgiving Eve because it's actually the first Thanksgiving Eve in what feels like forever that I've had off. And it's not going to be very long until I'm all up in Philadelphia for Thanksgiving Eve. But what I wanted to do today is kind of talk to some people around here. We can talk about anything. We can talk about Eagles. We can talk about things going on in the world. I want to promote some of the projects that I have been doing and just come up with some Thanksgiving memories for myself and maybe some others that might watch this. And if you're not watching it live, you can always leave your comment at the comment section below, whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube. And I will definitely answer that in a timely manner. Now, let's get some things out of the way. First thing I want to talk about is December 4th, as I go back to Houston, Delaware, and defend my workhorse championship with 1CW Professional Wrestling. This is a family event, three, and I might be wrong. I think there might be four of them, but I know there's at least 3 steel cage matches. And if you've never seen a steel cage live, especially in an environment like Houston, where every seat is a good seat, then you're definitely missing out. With that being said, also make sure you check into or subscribe to Eagles News Now on YouTube, as there is so much content being put out there on a weekly basis with myself. And I know a lot of people out there are not Eagles fans. I get it. I am a local guy, so I do like the Philadelphia Eagles. I was brought up on the Eagles. And at times, and I was actually talking to my father about this not too long ago. At times, I would ask him, like, "Why, dude? Like, what did you bring me into this fan base for? So much heartbreak and so much losing, and always being kind of the black sheep of the NFL. Like, why couldn't we be like Steeler fans? And they got 7 Super Bowls or whatever." But no, I wouldn't give up being an Eagles fan for anything. Obviously, the Super Bowl in 2017 was one of the most awesome experiences I've ever had to deal with. Because it was so, it took so long to get there. Now I do live feeds. I do live feeds from Lincoln Financial Field when I do get to games. Obviously, it's not cheap getting to games. I am part of that 4th and John tailgate. You can find us there every week, and they're also at away games as well. But I bring this up, it's not easy getting to games, not cheap getting to games. I bring this up because I do put a lot into this channel money-wise, and that's why below you see donations are welcome. If you would like to donate to this channel or donate to myself, my wrestling career, whatever, go ahead and hit that Cash App, and it is Chris Wild Wrestling. Also on the channel, you can find a lot of different things as far as reactions, whether it be reactions to movies, reaction to different trailers, reactions to music. And obviously, most recently, I've been reacting to a lot of songs from Falling in Reverse, trying to get through a lot of their stuff. These are guys that really speak to me. Rodney Radke, with a lot of his songs, have to deal with some of the things he's dealt with in his life, as well as mental health things, which I think is definitely important, especially around the holidays, man. A lot of people feel a lot of certain ways around the holidays when it comes to mental health. Again, this is a place, is a platform to speak about this. It's one of the great things I think about 2021 YouTube and such is with, and look at people that are tuning in right now. I know the thumbnail says Thanksgiving Eve party. My partying will come later, but this is a party of sorts if you want to speak your mind, want to get things out. Darren, I talk about mental health in the holidays because a lot of us have lost people that are important to us that we used to spend holidays with. I think about my grandmother a lot. The Thanksgiving in Jersey with her, it was always a big deal. My 30 or so cousins, I know I have 30 cousins, but it seems like that. And just family that you would only see maybe a couple times a year, would all gather at her house. All the food always tasted a little bit better in that little lofty type apartment in Bayonne, New Jersey. And we didn't have a bunch, we didn't have a lot, but what we did have, I mean, we enjoyed the hell out of the little things there. Football always on Thursdays. Obviously, a lot of my family, especially my mom's side, Giants or Jets fans. Me, again, being the black sheep, which is kind of a theme in my life as an Eagles fan. Didn't get to see many Eagle fans on Thanksgiving, but we did get to root against the Cowboys, as that was always a common enemy, and watch meaningless Lions and Packer games throughout the years. Tomorrow's a bunch of games that are going to happen. The Cowboys, of course, play the Raiders. The Lions and the Bears will play, and then I believe it's the Saints and the Bills at nighttime. That night game was added a little bit. Was it maybe? Man, it feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it might have been about 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, that last game was put there. Again, no rooting interest for myself. I think Dallas already has the division kind of wrapped up. Even though there are 7 weeks left and they've played a couple shitty weeks, I do think that team is built to win now. And it sucks. I would love to just sit here and tell you Dallas sucks all day long. But they do have a great offense, and the defense does play physical. I think that they can definitely win the NFC East. I think the Eagles could get into the wild card. That's another video for another day. Obviously, again, Eagle fans are joining me. They know I do my preview videos. I do a bunch of reaction videos to Eagle games. And again, this is just such an outlet for me. But talking about Thanksgiving and talking about Thanksgiving Eve, being a professional wrestler, how can I forget about Survivor Series? The Survivor Series was just last Sunday. Now Survivor Series for all of the older generation. I hate to call it that, just for us, for the cooler generation, because it was a lot cooler back in the day, kids. It really was. Professional wrestling, the Survivor Series used to be every Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. The pay-per-view was on Wednesday. I remember, again, having Thanksgiving in Jersey. A lot of the times I would get dropped off at the local Moose Lodge, the Moose Club. It was like a little bar where you had to pay membership to get into, and they used to have the pay-per-view. So I would watch the Survivor Series from there as a kid, and it was so awesome. Again, as things evolved, it just became a Sunday thing, but it used to be the Thanksgiving Eve tradition was the Survivor Series. And again, I can just imagine how awesome it was for the performers to go out there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they would like to be with their family, but there had to be something special about performing on Thanksgiving Eve for that crowd. So again, any Thanksgiving memories that you all would like to share, I'm trying to keep an eye on my Facebook feed for any comments that might be left there. Again, it is kind of hard. I don't do this. That's what she said. I don't do this very often from Facebook. I like to keep my Facebook page strictly wrestling, a little bit of family stuff. Whereas this YouTube venture, I don't put much wrestling on here. I like to kind of differentiate between the two. Other things that have happened in my life, I did get that COVID-19 vaccine. I know there are a lot of opinions there with that. For different jobs that I have, obviously with wrestling, I do some other law enforcement type stuff that pays the bills. The vaccine is definitely pushed. I'm not gonna give any kind of political stance on it. I prefer to have it. I did get the 2 shots, and I was fine pretty much. Like, I had a couple symptoms here and there. And then I got this booster shot Monday. I got to be honest with you. It was the Pfizer shot. And I don't know how much I can say because YouTube pulls a lot of COVID stuff. But this is my own opinion, my own experience with that 3rd shot. It kind of put me down. Monday night had a horrible headache. I just couldn't get away from. Tuesday night, it lingered, and it was soft, and then it intensified again. And today it's a little bit better. Today it just feels like instead of a 10-pound weight having on my forehead, it feels like a 2-pound weight, which I can deal with. But it was definitely, and the pharmacist said that all the shots are the same. Well, let me tell you, that 3rd shot was way more intense than the first 2. And it did kind of put me down for the count. But here I am, pushing forward. And I like to say all the time, and I say this in a lot of the videos that I do about mental health. I have done a couple. that when your back's against the wall, you can't go back any further. You got to just keep pushing forward. I know it sounds cliche, but that's the only way. It's all you can do. I mean, think about it. When if your back's to the wall, or you have nowhere further back to go, there's only one way. There's only a couple steps that you can take, and that is by moving forward. So, as I headbutt the mic, but yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm thinking about maybe, and I hate going to the doctors. I absolutely can't stand it. Never. I mean, I would have to have my limb hanging off of my body to see a doctor, but if this headache does not kind of go away, especially, I plan on having a really good night tonight. If it does not go away, it will be something that I will definitely look into. As you know, this virus, no matter how it got out there, it has crippled the country for whatever reason. And I'm one of those guys that just want to see things get back to normal. Now, also, guys, one of the big things I've added to this channel is a joint venture with myself and Zach the Ripper Comics, another channel here on YouTube. Zach the Ripper Connor is a longtime best friend of mine. You could say pretty much a brother at this point. No, I'm not gonna say pretty much. He's a brother of mine at this point. 20 years almost knowing this guy. Traveling up and down the roads together, training together. While our wrestling opinions and thoughts, very rarely do we agree on anything wrestling related, which is crazy because it's how we met. We do have tons of experiences doing it, and tons of just, again, he's a part of my family. One of the things that we love and has kind of hit the media and kind of hit the national stage once again, which is crazy after almost 25 years, is the hit HBO show, The Sopranos. Now, obviously, they just had a movie, The Many Saints of Newark, come out, which is a prequel to the show. We decided we were going to go and just review every episode once again and put our thoughts here on YouTube. Now, this show is timeless to me. I think if it was made today in 2020, a lot of these, it would be different. A lot of these things would not, a lot of these topics and a lot of these episodes would not be allowed to be on TV, but The Sopranos got away with it. And again, I got to talk about mental health a lot. Tony Soprano and what he went through as far as, and again, fictional character, I get it. But these thoughts came from David Chase and a lot of writers. It was about his mental health, the fact that he was having a lot of panic attacks. And that's kind of the premise of the show. Instead of it being, Goodfellas, it was all mob shit. Very little family stuff. This is family stuff, mental health stuff, and then mixed in with mob stuff. Again, a lot of people my age, you can't be my age without seeing that series. But anyway, we go ahead. We do about an hour a week or once every 2 weeks. We haven't really put a schedule on each episode. We're on episode 5, and we add a lot of other shit to it. And that's why I'm saying this. It's not just all talking about The Sopranos. It's talking about our lives. It's adding different games or just having fun with this series. And I say that to you now because I want to actually share with you guys a clip from The Sopranos with myself and Zach Connor. Now, the last episode we did was the college episode where Meadow and Tony go up to college. Tony goes to drop her off at college. She pretty much straight up asks him, is he part of the mafia? It's a famous clip. The show was nominated and won an Emmy. I didn't like it. I didn't like the episode, but it did win an Emmy. And Zach and I both agreed we didn't exactly like the episode. But with it being a college episode and college being the theme as far as with Meadow, we went ahead and I decided to have a little fun with Zach as he does he does all of these episodes with a little medical supplement that might be a plant. He does get very cushed up for these things. And I decided to have a little bit of fun with him, asking him what he thought at the time were college questions. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you now, guys. This is a clip from this week's Sopranos episode. I'll get a little bigger for you. That's what she said. That's what he said. Here we go. Meadow's going to college. He's got to be interviewed. Colleges ask a lot of questions. So I want to ask you some of these college questions and see what your answers will be.
Absolutely. Similar to the questions I asked you earlier.
And this is basically The Soprano. Are you smarter than a college student?
Yes, absolutely.
So, with old Rip over there, let's go to it. I got a couple questions. They're not bad. Number one, which language is the most widely spoken in South America?
Oh. So you got to go with the Americanized English because Americanized people are the widest people. So the most widest used language is going to be the Americanized English.
So the correct answer is Spanish.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it's close.
Number two, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first two men in the entire world to do what? This is easy.
Create an atmosphere.
Well, if by create an atmosphere you mean walk on the moon, correct. Number three, communities are where who lives, works, and plays.
Is that a statement or a question?
It's a question. Communities are where who lives, works, and plays.
Jim Neidhart's dead, my friend. I mean, I don't...
I need an answer.
Okay, one more time.
Okay. Communities are where who lives, works, and plays. It's a question. Not a man named who.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with the squirrels.
That's wrong too. Number three. The correct answer is people.
Oh,
Okay.
That's okay.
For the fourth question on Are You Smarter Than a College Student? Who were the first people in America? Who were the first people in America?
Well, see, that's a tough question because it wasn't named America before the English people came.
So who were? Who were the first people on the land that is now known as America?
The Native Americans.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
5 out of 5.
The Statue of Liberty is a gift from where?
France.
Correct again.
Oh my God, 6 out of 6.
What? Well, no, not. I think we're
6 out of 6.
We're 2 for 4. What country did Mexico gain its independence from in the 1800s?
Bulgaria.
It was actually Spain. Last 2 questions here. Who invented the light bulb?
Doug Flutie.
No, really. Who invented the light bulb? You know this. Come on. Bing.
Hold on a second.
Oh, no, you can't Google it.
Oh. It's Thomas Jefferson.
No, it's Thomas Edison. Thomas Jefferson,
Isn't...
signed the Constitution.
Yeah, but Thomas Edison was busy doing some other shit.
Last question. Thomas Edison was busy doing other shit. Okay. So he let Thomas Jefferson invent the light bulb. Hey, now I gotta do some shit. I got shit to do. Take care of this. Oh, man. What are the 2 main languages spoken in South America?
Well, the first one has to be Spanish.
Yes, because that was from the one.
Correct. And the second is going to be Portuguese.
Holy shit! How did you know that?
Yeah.
You didn't know who could invent the fucking light bulb?
Yeah. Come on. Clap for me.
Oh my god!
8 out of 8.
We're looking at. I think you got 3 out of 5.
8 out of
However, as always on Soprano Bros, there's always a twist, right? There's
always a twist. Ooh, what's a twist?
So I kind of lied to you a little bit here.
Oh, here we go.
I told you that this segment was called
Soprano Bros Get Attitudes.
Soprano Bros. Are you smarter than a college student?
Yes.
It was actually Soprano Bros. Are you smarter than a first grader? Our first grade question, dude. Oh boy.
So we have learned today that the college episode sucks. And we have also learned today that Zach the Ripper Comics is cushed up on that cush is not, in fact, smarter than a first grader.
So there you have it. There's the clip from this week's Sopranos episode. I saw Carrie in the comments there. How are you doing? Zach is not live with me right now. Not exactly sure where he is. I'm about to head out myself and try to celebrate this Thanksgiving Eve, the first one that I've been able to celebrate in a really, really long time. I keep messing with this arm because I did get this ink done over at Walls of Wonder in Dover, Delaware. Ray did this. I've wanted an angel wing on my arm. Actually, I wanted one on my shoulders. I wanted two on my shoulders for a while to symbolize the two people that I've lost, being my grandmother and my brother Kyle. Man, look, tattoos are not cheap. They are not cheap. To get the work that I wanted done on the shoulders would have been a lot of money for people not to see unless I was in the ring wrestling or on my OnlyFans. I'm kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't. So I figured I'd get the arm done, and this guy Ray did an absolutely awesome job. I mean, look, people see it and see it's big and go, man, that must have hurt. I'll be honest with you. I felt so comfortable there at Walls of Wonder in Dover. I felt so comfortable that I didn't. It's not that I didn't feel it, but today it's not like 20 years ago where you're kind of sitting there, you're laying there and maybe trying to close your eyes, or all you can think about is the needle going into your arm. Look, we got the phones, we got the YouTube, where you can watch the Eagles News Now YouTube channel or the Zach Ripper Comics YouTube channel or whatever you want to do. This was after the Eagles win against the Broncos, so I just watched a bunch of stuff about that game. It was a 2-hour process, and it felt like it went 15 minutes. It was absolutely awesome to the point where, like, I'm asking myself as I'm sitting there, like, why don't I have more tattoos? Because this is not bad. Now, when I got this one done, this was 12 years ago. I can't look. I'm stupid with this camera. So you see, it says Faith. That's for my daughter. She's 12 years old. Got it done right before she was born. I felt like that hurt more. I don't know. Maybe it was because, again, I didn't have the phone. I didn't just sitting there. But I felt like that hurt more. And then I got this one when I was 18 years old, with a girl I worked with, Jen Gerard. But I want more. I definitely want more tattoos, and I want them all to mean something, because anything I'm going to put on my body, if I'm going to put some permanent damn ink on my body, think about that. It's permanent. It's permanent. It's not, I mean, you can have it blacked out, or I guess you can have it removed or whatever, but the hassle and pain in the ass that's got to be to have done, or you can have something added to it. I don't know. It's just too much for me. Like, it's going to absolutely mean something that, if I'm around 20 years from now, I have grandkids or whatever, I can tell them why it's there. Man, I can't even imagine what 20 years from now would be like. But yeah, it's definitely going to mean something, and I definitely want some different sleeves done and stuff there. Again, this is all stuff that I share on a daily almost basis here on Eagles News Now, and I understand the name. Like I said before, it makes you think it's nothing but Eagles football that we talk about. And we talk about everything, man. We talk about absolutely everything. I'm wearing the Spider-Man shirt because I just did a video that's in the can about the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out. You can also find a trailer reaction to the new Batman movie that is coming out. Tons of stuff. You can find my match from the last 1CW event. It's going to be uploaded here on this channel as well. So I defeated Adam Chandler. What a great match that was. A very, very special show as we honored the memory of Kevin Brittingham. For those of you that don't know who that was, a very influential person in Delaware, all over. People know him from everywhere. He's just one of those guys. But he was part of many different wrestling companies in the Delaware area. His passion was contagious. This guy very rarely had a bad thing to say about anybody, and it's hard to find anybody that had a bad thing to say about Kevin. And he lost the battle to COVID. Man, it was maybe 3 weeks ago, probably longer than that, but it feels like it was just recently. And I think that happened on a Monday or a Tuesday, and we had the show on a Saturday. And my match was right after we did a tribute to him, and it was tough, man. It was tough getting my head right. You're in tears almost, doing a tribute to a guy that you were close to, and then you've got to get ready to go beat the shit out of somebody, literally, or get the shit beat out of you. Like literally just minutes afterwards. One of the toughest things that I ever had to do, but I know he was looking on, and I hope that myself and Adam, made him proud. I know it was, and I'm sure Adam doesn't mind me saying this, but I know it was a big deal to Adam too, the match at least, as he's a father like myself, and your focus kind of shifts. Once you have kids. I was lucky enough that was very early in my career when I had my kids, to where like it kind of shifted my focus a little bit. And then for him, it kind of opened his mind up also to the different aspects of wrestling and what it should be, maybe more fun than being serious. And he's jumping back in. This is kind of his second run, and he absolutely killed it in there in the ring. I said afterwards, like, that's one tough son of a bitch, man. This guy, if you see him, he's got the look. He's big. He's tall. He's good looking. He's athletic. He's got everything that you would want as far as a professional wrestler goes. And I can't wait to get back in there with him. Mr. Beast, you think the Eagles make the playoffs? I don't want to jinx this. Well, first off, look, so they just won back-to-back games for the first time this year. They won their first home game Sunday. Of course, I was there. Look, they've got what looks like a soft schedule coming up. You get to play the Giants twice. Washington, I don't think they're a pushover team, even though they did lose their best player. They seem to be playing great football. Then you've got the Jets. That should be an automatic W, you would think, even though I think they beat the Titans this year, so you never know. And they play Dallas, who might not even need the win. Like it's the last game of the year. They might have things wrapped up and might play their backups. Can the Eagles sneak into that 7th wild card spot? It is possible, because the teams that they've beaten this year, teams like the Saints, the Falcons, I think they're out of it. The Panthers, they have that tiebreaker over them. Now the Eagles, if they're gonna look, if there's any kind of world where the Eagles make the playoffs, they're going to need to beat the Giants this week. And look, you look at the Giants and their mess, right? They're an absolute mess of a team. I think Daniel Jones sucks. He does play us well, though. But there's a change in the offensive coordinator position, as Jason Garrett was fired earlier in the week after that horrible game against Tampa Bay. And Freddie Kitchens, old Cleveland Browns head coach, is moving in to the offensive coordinator spot. I think that poses a problem for the Eagles, because, again, I guess you can go back and if you're the Eagles coaches, and you can look at games that Freddie Kitchens, because he was an offensive coordinator, you can look at games that he called plays at, and kind of get you can kind of get some kind of feel of what he's going to do. However, again, you just not with these players. You know what I mean? Maybe Kenny Golladay all of a sudden looks like the wide receiver that they paid for. Saquon Barkley, he was barely in the game last week. Maybe you get a bunch of Saquon Barkley. And look, the Eagles linebackers, Davion Taylor being out. The Eagles linebackers are not the best. TJ Edwards, I think, is a beast, but they're just not the best. They're not exactly great against the run. And their defensive line, I mean, they still, even after last week, they still have not applied the pressure that you would think that this kind of defensive line. I mean, I'm talking that they're the most expensive players on the field for the Eagles would do. So this Sunday is now. Look, if the Eagles go into MetLife and they can pull off a convincing win against the Giants, to some people that might not mean much because it's the Giants, but to me, I'll say, okay, that's 3 in a row now. Maybe it is time to talk playoffs for this team. Now, I know a lot of Eagle fans say to me, they go, Chris, why do you even want them to be in the playoffs? We've got all these draft picks next year. let's lose, and then our draft picks will be higher. And to them, I say a couple things. Number one, the experience that a guy like Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts will have from just being in a playoff game, even if it's 1-and-out, they'll still have that playoff experience. That's huge, especially for this entire coaching staff. If Jonathan Gannon makes it to next year, which I kind of feel like he will, and just their coaches are young all over. I mean, this is a new experience for them, and I think it's going to be very, very valuable for them to make the playoffs. Also, think about who is picking these draft picks. It's Howie Roseman. I know a lot of these guys that he's picked, and you look at me and you go, man, Jordan Mailata, right? 7th-round draft pick. They signed Avonte Maddox, Dallas Goedert. These are all guys that they have just recently signed to second-year contracts. So they have had some success in the draft. But then I look at guys like Jalen Reagor, who seems to be an absolute bust at the wide receiver position. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, again, another bust at the wide receiver position. And I go, I don't know if I want this guy. I mean, this guy's going to be picking these no matter what. He's Howie Roseman is getting out of this year alive, and he's going to be picking these draft picks unless the Eagles absolutely collapse and lose to all these bad teams. So yeah, I think I don't think it hurts the Eagles to win. There's some games that they played this year that they probably should have won. I look at San Francisco. This is when Sirianni, for whatever reason, wasn't running the ball like at all. Kansas City, I think they could have won. I think they could have beat the Chargers. So we'll see what happens. At least it's a little bit exciting to be an Eagles fan again. Here as we move towards the second half of the season, and I got a lot of faith in Jalen Hurts. I really, really do. I think that I don't know what your definition of a franchise quarterback is, but I think he's pretty damn good. And the thing with him is, and this is even like in wrestling or just in a job, like if you got a young guy that's in there, you can't, the way that he works day one is not exactly what you can say he's going to work like, in day with a year or two on the job. You watch his progression or regression. Now, Jalen Hurts has done nothing but get better every game. He's done nothing but get better. People say he can't pass the ball. He doesn't really need to at this point. I mean, the Eagles have rushed the ball more than they have since 1950. Since 1950, Jalen Hurts is the first Eagles quarterback to rush for more than 50 yards in a game since Randall Cunningham. McNabb didn't do it. Vic didn't do it. Jalen Hurts has done it. And it's all about proving the doubters wrong. And again, I think about that all the time because a lot of my life, a lot of my career as far as wrestling wise, even my career in law enforcement, it's a lot of people that say you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I've had a lot of doubters. I'm 5'6.5", entered a sport entertainment business that was dominated by giants, and rightfully so, absolutely. And I got in, and every week, every day, there was a doubter. There was somebody laughing or somebody thinking I couldn't do it. And it was, again, back to the wall, can only go forward. And that's kind of how I kept it. Now I've had some injuries that have sidelined me. COVID definitely sidelined me, both from a physical and a mental aspect. And I'm looking at, what manifested from this is this channel, obviously. And just a newfound passion when it comes to different things in my life, and especially professional wrestling. I think 2022 is going to be a huge year for me as far as my mindset again, and just putting in this training every day in the gym. As I'm sure the people that follow me on Instagram, Chris Wild 1 on Instagram, people probably get tired of seeing all my gym pics, but they're on there because look, man, it keeps me going. It keeps me focused, reminding me of the goal that I am at. With 1CW being their workhorse champion, ECWA, another, they're the longest running independent federation in America, being a staple there. It means a lot to me as well. And making an impact there in 2022 is going to mean a lot as well. Guys that were watching, I appreciate all you guys that are watching right now. Any questions, anything you guys just want to get off your chest or talk about, please feel free. I'm probably going to stay on for maybe another 15 minutes, if that, and then I'm going to get started celebrating my own Thanksgiving Eve. Which is the biggest party day of the year. It's everybody out there that is, going out is partying to this. And look, my people in Philly that are going to be around, I'll see you soon. But other people in Philadelphia, man, are Eagle fans. We got some shit to celebrate about. I mean, Sunday was a cool game. Sunday was, and I've been to 3 Eagles game this year. Sunday was not just because they won, but it was just the most awesome experience. I get there at 7:30 in the morning. Big shout out to my dad and his wife Evelyn over in Puerto Rico. They watch the children. They get there at 1 or at 7:30, and the tailgates are off the charts, man. 4th and John tailgate, they were serving Scrapple subs, which was awesome. That cheese and that big shout out to Gail from there, hooking that up. It was just, and Hollywood Hearn too. It was just awesome. And then I kind of like dipped into some other tailgates, and there was a mimosa bar at a tailgate, like high end liquor for free. I mean, where can you find that? Where can you go and find that? Literally in a parking lot. Had a whole too many shots of whiskey early in the morning, and then just dancing and having fun and just being around people. And the thing is, what I love about these tailgates, guys, what I love about these games, and I know that people that understand, that watch this, that go to these things, and this is one of the things that turned me on about the football and the experience before the game, from a young age, was we live in a society, and right now it's being, because we have cameras, you see it every day. We live in a society where there's a lot of racial tension. There's a lot of discrimination, a lot of disgusting things that people do to each other. People that don't celebrate or respect human life, that are out there walking among us. I mean, from different aspects, people that you thought you respected, you find out are different like this. But you go to these games, and I swear to you, I actually thought until recently that if you were wearing the same jersey color, or you were representing the same jersey color, that was the only color that mattered. You go to an Eagles game, you're wearing green. It doesn't matter what you look like outside of that jersey, man. People are hugging you. People are partying with you. They're dancing with you. They're drinking with you. They're talking with you. It does not matter. And I remember being young and going to Veterans Stadium, scalping tickets and getting burnt sometimes, but going into that stadium and the Eagles score, and I got people slapping my hand and hugging me from all different races and nationalities that don't know anything about me. And I was like, this is beautiful. This is awesome. Like there's no, when you go to and people are going to go, man, the Eagles and Eagles fans get such a bad rap with the way people think that we are. Like, oh, they're rowdy and they'll fight you if you're wearing. And look, there are those types of fans. Yes, I think they're everywhere. I mean, you look everywhere. There's people getting shot. Used to get shot in Oakland or San Francisco games. However, I really believe that for the most part, there's 90% of them, at least the ones I've been around, are good. And I said earlier that I thought until recently that if you're wearing the same color, people they wouldn't bother you, or they didn't discriminate against you. But like being with the 4th and John tailgate, I can tell you these guys welcome all jersey colors, man. It's insane, especially for when you think about the rap that Eagles fans get. These guys, I mean, every tailgate, they're fans of the team we're playing, drinking the free Bud Light, eating the tomato pies from Conshohocken Bakery, eating the free cheesesteaks that Hollywood Hearn makes on that flat grill. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a time, where it's 4 or 5 hours a day where people just forget about life, man. They just forget about it. They forget about everything going on in their life, and they go to these games. That's why I love it. That's why I'm passionate about it. That's why I'm passionate about doing this, speaking in front of this thing, being on YouTube, on this platform, having the subscribers I have. If you guys have not, please go to Eagles News Now, hit that subscribe button, even if you're not an Eagle fan. Again, I said there's music content. We're talking about movie trailers. We're talking about TV trailers. We're talking about myself and Zach the Ripper Connor just being assholes. There's so much stuff here to dig into, and I love talking to everybody and having everybody watch and comment. And it's something to be passionate about, man. That you can't live life without passion. Professional wrestling for so long has just been my passion. It continues to be my passion, and now again, what COVID-19 did, what the pandemic did, was it opened me up to other passions as well. And again, I love doing this. I figure Thanksgiving Eve, why not? It's something to be thankful for. I'm thankful for this platform. I'm thankful for my voice. All the stuff that we talk about. Again, with all the bad things going on in society today, we do live in a country where we're pretty much free, right? I'm thankful for that. I'm free to talk to you guys right now. I'm free to pretty much say what I want to. I think the First Amendment is a beautiful thing, something that should never ever be taken away. And I'm thankful for that, man. Thankful for the Eagles. Thankful for the fans. Thankful for the professional wrestling fans. All my Facebook friends that might watch this at some point or are watching right now. I'm thankful for you guys. There's been, especially for me personally, and I know everybody goes through this, man. It's like for so long, it was so hard to talk about this because it wasn't something, especially in today's society, that a male would talk about. But I've had some dark moments. I've had some really, really dark moments. And again, moments I never thought I would have. I never in a million years thought I would have. And I've had them. I see the ECWA, former ECWA champion. He should be ECWA champion still to this day. Mr. Ulala is watching. Thank you, Mr. Ulala. You talk about, I want to talk about Mr. Ulala real quick. You talk about an inspiration. I watched this guy, Mr. Ulala. Again, fans on YouTube that aren't wrestling fans and maybe watching, Google this guy, Mr. Ulala. I remember I've read PWI wrestling magazines, and basically, again, for people who aren't wrestling fans, it's basically the Sports Illustrated of professional wrestling. I would read these PWI magazines, and I always see Mr. Ulala's picture in there. And again, this was a guy that was he wasn't built like a narcissist, okay? But he just had this entertaining look. Like you looked at his picture and you were like, I want to see this. I want to see what this guy is about. And then I, come to find out he was wrestling in Northern Delaware. I went up there as a kid, went up there to watch Mr. Ulala and the ECWA at the time. Thoroughly entertained and just blown away. I tried to get an ECWA, a lot as I was coming up, even though I wasn't ready for it. In 2010, the great Jim Kettner, for his last Super 8, and this always meant a lot to me, gave me a call and invited me to be in that tournament. And that was with guys like Xavier Woods, like Tommaso Ciampa, and it was just Alex Reynolds was also in that from AEW. And it was just an amazing experience. And Mr. Ulala was in that locker room, and it was like, I remember, it's crazy because like you get in this business and people that are in it can kind of agree with me on this. After the first couple shows, you're not really starstruck by anybody. I remember my trainer, Jeff Rocker, brought me to a show where Jimmy Snuka was there. And that was the first time I was starstruck. Like it was, holy shit, it's Jimmy Snuka. Now after that, there wasn't really times I was starstruck. It just didn't happen. These guys were coworkers to me. And I, of course, focused and thinking about getting myself in a better position. I just wasn't starstruck by anybody until I saw Mr. Ulala in that locker room. And then getting to know Mr. Ulala, just an amazing dude, like I'm not trying to blow smoke, but this is just, he's one of those guys where like, if aliens came down and they were like, we're going to blow up the earth unless you show us a human being on why we should keep this planet alive, I would grab Mr. Ulala and be like, this is why. Like, this is a human. This is what all human beings should be like. And I'm not trying to blow smoke or anything, but that's just, and everybody that knows him can tell you, and they can, he's just an amazing human being. Got to get close with him, got to actually wrestle him a couple times. And the first time I wrestled him, I gave him a thank you card. Thank you for everything that you've done in the business, man. And because the respect I have for him, and just like, I thought it was just awesome to be in a ring with a guy that like I watched. And my dad is funny because my dad used to come to ECWA shows when they were running out of the Boys and Girls Club, and he'd come and watch me. And, I'd talk him into, hey, Dad, you're going to, and again, wrestlers know family can watch you only so many times. Like, the what can I say? The luster kind of wears off after a little bit. Like they can only see you get your ass whooped so many times, or like whatever. So I'd always talk my dad into coming. And Daddy would come to ECWA, and he'd be like, "This first question would be," and I wish he was in the country to attest to this because he watches all my stuff. But I'd say, you know, are you going to come? I'm doing this, this, and that. I'm in the title match. I'm doing this. I'm working this guy. And blah, blah. And he'd always say, "Well, is Mr. Ulala going to be there?" "Yeah, Dad, he's going to be there." "All right, I'm there." Or yeah, and Mr. Love was on all the ECW shows, so I never had the chance to say no. But yeah, great. I really appreciate you watching. Ooh la la, and I can't wait to get back into an ECWA locker room with you again in 2022, and maybe get in the ring with you again. That would be pretty awesome as well. Take a drink for the working man. And that was a special moment for me to receive that card. Yeah, man, it was awesome, dude. It was, man, that was a good match too. We had a good match. I'll have to upload that to this channel. It's on my other channel, my Chris Wild Wrestling channel. But there's a match that involved the bowling ball, and it's a bunch of crazy stuff. And then we wrestled in. It's funny. I wrestled Ooh La La in DCW, and it was kind of, I believe it was like Nodes DQ. We used a lot of different things to really entertain everybody, and then in ECWA, we had a wrestling match. We had like an actual really awesome wrestling match. And again, it's we're entertainers, we're wrestlers. It's a test of what we can both do in the ring. And it's why, again, if you guys are interested if you're in the Delaware area, if you're in the Jersey area, you're interested in good wrestling or just want to be entertained, when to go somewhere, you got to think about anything. Check out ECWAProWrestling.com or ECWA on Facebook, and also 1CW in Lower Delaware. You can find me there. You can find Ooh La La, DCW, all the CWs, it seems like, where we are. But yeah, it's we are getting to, where are we now? Man, I've almost been on here for an hour longer than I thought I was. This was on the whim too, guys. Absolutely on the whim thing. I wanted to talk. I was really, to be honest with you guys, like Thanksgiving, like I said earlier in the podcast, I think about my grandmother a lot. I was kind of thinking about her, and think about my brother, and it's like I really wanted to get on here and just kind of give thanks, man. Just kind of give thanks, and it's been a long time since I've been able to. It's been a long time since I've been able to spend the holiday with both of them, and I wish I could again. But this holiday is still special for myself now, with my own little family, my own little my kids that are going crazy right now outside that door. They're driving me absolutely nuts right now. But it is what it is. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get off here. Thanks everybody for joining me here on Eagles News Now. Please, again, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And again, thanks for joining me. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.